love how David continually brings in testimony, you know, and I love the scripture in Revelations 12:11 that says they overcame the enemy, do you know this one? By the blood of the Lamb. So Jesus died, right? He opened the way, he made the way. The power of their testimony, and that they did not love their lives unto death. Such an incredibly powerful scripture, that one. Everything's in it. But the power of their testimony, some of you may know this. Is there any legals? Any legal people in the room? No? Yes? Well, when you take the word testimony back to the Greek, it means precedence. So when you go into the courtroom today, if you have a precedence of a case, thank you, of a case that has happened before, legally they have to give you the same outcome. So just let that sink in for a minute. They overcame the enemy by the blood of the Lamb, the power of their testimony, the power of their precedence. So when David shares a testimony from his life, he can pray for you because it's his testimony. He can pray for you, and you legally, in the heavenly courtroom, can have the same outcome. How amazing is that? Now, not just David. Who else has a testimony in the room? You have the power to pray for other people and hand over the same outcome. How cool is that? That's how we overcome the enemy. Isn't that amazing? Precedence. Your testimony is a precedence that the enemy has to oblige, has to bow down to. I love it. And the fact that, the little bit on the end, and the fact that they did not love their lives unto death. That's a whole other sermon or talk right there, but are we all in? You know, are we all in? That's all I'll say about that. Let me get my slides up so I know where we're going. This next tool that I'm going to give you is, I think, I'm just going to say, it's so cool. It is so cool. And it's so fast because we're all about time and efficiency, right? This can change just about anything. It is absolutely amazing. I've opened the wrong thing because I'm talking and trying to do the things. Yeah, like, hang on a sec. Sorry, I would have opened it, but I had no power, so. That's on E, there we go. Righto, submodality mapping and other cool stuff. How to reduce and increase emotions and states almost instantly. So let's take this back to fear. When you understand submodality mapping and how it works in your brain, you can do this not only on yourself, but really anyone else, just in a conversation. And you can change fear to faith like that just by changing submodalities, okay? What on earth are submodalities, though? Which might be on the next slide. Oh no, why? Why would you want to do that? Well, because you can change your emotions, you can change your states. When you change your emotions, you change the decisions you make, the actions you take and the results you make, right? We don't want to make decisions out of fear, do we? We want to make decisions out of faith, don't we? So, and also you can use this tool to increase things like, have you ever wanted more confidence or faith or love or joy or any other emotion? Or what about a particular skill or mindset? Like, have you seen someone who's really good at something and you think, oh, I wish I was like that, or I wish I had that? Well, now you can be, because I'll show you how to take that submodality strategy out of their head and put it in your own, like a program. How cool's that? I think it's cool anyway. When we understand how we neurologically represent emotions and how we neurologically create strategies for each and every outcome, we can literally copy-paste the outcome from, of anything that we want on our own brain. But there is a little bit of a clause in there with my two little star things within capacity, which I explain capacity, and gifting and personality parameters. And I'll explain that now. I mapped, does anyone know Dave Hodgson in the room? Okay. So he's, for those of you who don't know him, he is a Kingdom billionaire. He's the head of Kingdom Initiatives, global movement, like changing nations, bringing biblical economics in and just doing massive, massive things on a global scale. So I took out his neuro strategy for God's favour. I took that out of his brain. So I have that now, right? And I can map that on anyone because I know what it is. So would anyone like he has massive, yeah, like I see that hand. But even like that one, I got that in my little, tool bank here. But anything you want, it might not be God's favourite. It might be someone who's really great with, problem solving or conflict resolution or, managing people or whatever it is that you need or want for your business. You can find that person, understand how to pull that strategy out and then how to map it on yourself. So this stuff is really, really cool. That's the wine. What, in good heavens, is a submodality is my next slide. A submodality is literally how we describe our 5 senses. So we have visual, auditory, kinesthetic, which is feeling, olfactory, which is smell, and gustatory, which is taste, right? It's how we describe them. For example, visual, we describe visual things in colour. Is it colour? Is it black and white? What size is it? What shape is it? Is it moving? Is it still? What's the clarity? So every word you can use to describe visual is a submodality of visual, right? Same with auditory. How do you describe that? Well, volume, tone, timbre, pitch, tempo, rhythm, etc. Right? There's, probably dozens of them, maybe hundreds of them, who knows, of how you describe those certain things. And you can see kinesthetic, temperature, texture, movement, speed. Is it pulsating, the flow of it, vibration, location, all that's like where is the feeling? That's kinesthetic. Olfactory, is it sweet? Is it pungent? Is it fresh? Is it floral, salty, earthy, etc. And gustatory, again, sweet, sour, salty, metallic, spicy, bitter. The list can go on. It's a submodality is just how you describe our 5 senses. But here's where it gets kind of cool, is you have strategies and you have submodalities for everything and things that you probably wouldn't normally perhaps think that you have. For example, you have a representation for the smell of the colour red. If I asked you, you've probably never thought of this before, but to you, what does the colour red smell like? A rose. Sweet. An apple. Fiery. Chili. Sassy. Can you see it? How bizarre is that? You all knew what red smelled like. Here's another really cool one. I love this one. Look at something in the room. Anything in the room right now. Don't do a person though, because I'll tell you why. Look at something in the room. You know what that would feel like to lick. Don't you? Don't you? You do. That's why I said don't do a person. How cool is your brain, right? You have submodalities for all sorts of things. It's really, really cool. Okay, so I'm going to do this really quick because they are fast. The other thing about submodalities is that you can change things like that. In fact, let's just start before I get someone up. Oh no, I'll get someone up. Who wants to be my little volunteer for this? This is fun. Yes, Prince, is it? Prince, come on up. Give Prince a big welcome. Yeah, let's put him up here. Put him up on the spot. Yeah, you sit there. Okay, what shall I... let's go with... We're going to change fear to faith. Have you ever felt fear, Prince? A lot of times. Okay. What I want you to do is I'm going to get the submodalities of fear from Prince. Now, the interesting thing about this is, you know how we all have fingerprints and they're all unique? The way we map things is unique as well. So you might have a print for fear that is similar to Prince. It might be completely different. It's going to be unique to you. So it may never be entirely the same. So Tell me, Prince, if you can think of the feeling of fear, can you think of that fear? Can you think of a time when you felt fear? Great, you've got it. Where is that feeling in you? Is it inside you or is it outside you? On the inside. Now, where specifically on the inside? In your chest, in your head, all over? More in the head. Okay, excuse me, I'm going to start writing whilst we do this. So fear. It's inside, it's in the head. Is it anywhere else or just in your head? Just in your head. Okay. How big is it? Now, this is an interesting thing because you can see the size of Prince's head from where you're sitting. But fear might be postage stamp. It might actually look like it could fit inside his head, but it could also be the size of a football field. Okay, so how big is that fear if you had to describe it? Huge. So football field, the world, how, like country size, state size, how big? Like a what, sorry? Like a townhouse. Okay, so you see, he's got a townhouse in his head. What colour is it? What colour is fear? It's dark, yeah, like black, or like grey. What sort of dark, or dark blue, or grey, cloudy. So he's describing it to me now. Grey and cloudy. C-L-O-U, not crowdy. C-L-O-U-D-Y. Okay, don't zoom in on that one. It's dark and it's cloudy. Now, is it moving or is it still? It's moving. How fast is it moving? And tell me, describe the movement to me. Wavy, rocky, okay. Okay, unstable, you said. Okay, so currently I'm actually just going through visual submodalities. I don't know if you picked up on that. Visual are usually for me, they're usually the first ones I choose because people can relate to them the most. Unstable visual. Is there any sound to it? Describe the sound to me. Whisper of what? Incompetence, did you say? Like blame? There's actual words to it? Yeah. Whose voice is it? Your voice, okay. So it's a whisper. Tell me, is that like an angry whisper? Is it a disappointed whisper? What's the whisper like?
Can we just get his microphone up?
Oh, sorry.
You're
Okay, so I'm going to go, because we're talking now disappointment, I'm going to go straight to K, kinesthetic emotions. So the feel of this whisper, it's like disappointment. Can you tell me the colour of that disappointment? Is that still dark or is it a different colour?
It's more like a dirty water.
Like a muddy water?
Yeah.
Is there any smell to this? Is there any smell to fear? There may not be.
Yes, it is.
See, there is. Okay, yeah. Tell me the smell.
It's an irritating smell, and every time I have it, I sort of have this allergy. Like, that's how strong it is.
Have an allergy, did you
Yeah.
say? Wow. That's amazing. And where is the smell? So is the smell still inside your head? Is the smell outside your head
Now
now?
outside.
Now it's outside. How big is it?
Strong.
And how far does that smell progress? Like
Everywhere.
so it just
Everywhere I walk into.
follows you
Yeah.
like a bubble?
Yeah.
Do you find this fascinating? I do. What about taste? Is there a taste to it? Taste to fear?
Tasteless. You know,
Tasteless. There's nothing bland, is
that's, yeah, I wouldn't even be able to eat or do anything in that season. And it can testify, like, when I'm in that space, I can go days without food.
it? Okay, so you lose, L-O-S-E, lose your appetite. Okay. This is powerful. Can you see how powerful? You've got an incredibly powerful fear strategy. Well done, Prince. You've done this like 100%. Can't you see how clever his brain is in this? We're going to change it though. Okay. So, is there anything else you can tell me about fear? Anything else that sticks out to you visually, auditory, the smell, the taste, the feel of it?
It's sort of recaps every moment that I felt confidence and how that has become that fear. Like, that sort of plays more in my head when I felt like, oh, we're gonna do this, it's gonna work, and you know, how that's as
So
become
it tries to like engulf that, does it? So it's trying to be dominant.
yeah.
Okay. Well, let's put that little sucker back in its place. Okay. So, can you tell me? I just want you to stand up. Can you stand up? Can you give yourself a bit of shake? Do a little dance. I know. You know, we're going to Ethiopia. Whereabouts are you from originally?
I'm from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay, I haven't been there, but do you recognise this at all?
Oh, I can do better.
Woo! He can do better, much, much better. I love how they dance in Africa. So I'm going back and I'm going to do the dance. You're going to have to give me some lessons before I go though. So I did that because I wanted to change his state. Okay, I don't know if you saw that. He was actually really getting into this and it was grabbing him. So I'm even going to move your seat. So come and sit closer to me. We can leave that over there. Now we're going to talk about faith. Okay, has there been a time where you felt faith really strong?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Woo! All right. All right. We're going to do faith. Tell me what colour faith is.
To me, faith is gold.
Gold. Oh, yeah. Come on. Where is faith? Is it in your head, in your heart, in your body, outside? Where is faith when you feel faith?
When I feel the faith is just the whole of me, you know.
All of you?
Yeah.
So cellular, like
Inside,
cellular
outside.
revelation.
Like, I sort of, that's all I see, that's all I hear, that's all, you know, like,
So how big? Big as the world?
sizeless.
Sizeless. So from the world and then out again, like just eternal.
Yeah.
Sizeless. Yeah, that's a great word, isn't it? Sizeless. Okay, but it's also on the inside, which is like cells. Part of me. You may not be able to read this, but that's all right. It's gold. What sort of gold? Is it solid? Is it moving? What is it? Tell me about the gold. You can breathe it in.
It's that dark, yellow gold, not the light yellow type,
And is it solid or moving?
solid.
Solid?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But can you see through it?
I think when I have that, like if my faith is, I want these, or I'm trusting God for these, I probably won't see these in this color. I see it in gold, and that is what I see.
Wow. How cool is that? There's a strategy right there you can take. How good's that? That's awesome. So good. Okay, I love it. So I see it in gold. See it. Okay. Is there a sound to faith? Yeah, there is. What does it sound like?
It's a human sound, like, and that is most times I walk around, maybe in the office, driving. I'm just like, that is sounding me, and I'll be, like, but I can't really say this is what I'm feeling. Like, it's just there. Like,
Almost like a heavenly sound, but you know it and you hum to it.
Yeah.
It's almost like being in tune to that frequency of heaven.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Loving it. What's the volume of that? Is it quite loud? Is it medium, soft?
Oh, it's really loud. It's overpowering. Like I can be next to you at that moment, and no matter what you're saying, I'm not. My own.
What you're saying, I don't care. I'm listening to heaven. I have heaven on the other line. So good. Love it. Okay, is there a smell to it?
Yeah.
How cool is this? Yeah, tell us about the smell. What does it smell like?
Yeah, it does. Like it's this. The sugar-free yogurts. And I'm being honest, like I'm being honest. That is what I crave at that time, because that is the taste that is always in my mouth. Like,
So that's the taste as well to it? So it's olfactory and gustatory, sugar-free yogurt.
yeah,
Faith. Man, if you own that company, you know how to really market that thing now, don't you? It's good, hey? Are you getting a bit of insight here?
yeah, I'm just.
Aren't we fascinating? Aren't you fascinating? You are amazing. Okay. Okay, so anything else you can tell me about faith? Or does that feel like it's, you've described it?
I think, to me, when I'm in that space, you just don't want to be around me. I'll be honest, I'll be annoying. Yeah, I'm being honest. Like, I'm that person. When I'm in that space, you can't even. Don't try to convince me. Just leave me. Let go. And that's all I talk about. You can change my mind at that point. And when someone say anything negative at that point, they're actually empowering me.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah, once
Did
I'm
you
in that
catch
space.
that? When I'm in that phase and someone says something negative to me, they are empowering me. And that is because in your head, they go, you can't do that. In your head, you go, watch me.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, that's exactly what I use.
And it's fuel. Negativity is fuel in this state. How cool is that? I'm going to write that one down. Negativity is fuel. That's awesome. Anything else? Glad I asked that because that last one was gold, wasn't it? Literally. See what I did there?
Yeah, when I'm in that space, it's no plan B.
No. Awesome. Okay, so I want you to stand up.
Yeah.
Well done. Now I'm going to put you back over here to fear because I want you to show you how fast you can change fear into faith. So, have another seat. We're going to go back into fear. Now watch this. Okay, I want you to remember fear. I want you to get into the state of fear. Fear is inside your head. It's dark, but it's like the size of a townhouse. Actually, I didn't ask you, is it heavy? It's heavy, right? Fear is heavy. It's grey. Can you see and feel the grey? You can feel the heaviness of the grey. It's cloudy, it's moving, wavy, kind of rocky. This is fear. It's unstable. There's a whisper of incompetence and blame. It's your voice. And it's disappointment. Can you feel it? It feels like muddy water. And there is this incredibly irritating smell about it, enough to, like, you're allergic to it. You get a reaction to it. You can't eat for days because of it. Fear, the smell of it follows you wherever you go. It's just surrounding you. It engulfs you and it's dominant. It's trying to always usurp and exert itself. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much fear do you feel in this state? 10 being a lot, 1 being nothing. Where are you at the moment? 5? Okay, I'm just going to exaggerate the point here. What would you need to do to get that feeling of fear? Now, remember, I'm going to get you out of this really quick, so I hope you will work with me. But what would you need to do to get that fear of 5 to a 10? What if I made those swirly clouds even bigger? Like we're talking about the size of the world. And it's so heavy, it's like you're being crushed under it. And that whisper is now shouting at you.
All it takes is just one person, saying, it's my fault. And like, you caused this, like I'm the reason why they're taking a negative decision.
Yeah.
And I feel like I knew it, I'm not good enough.
Okay, where's your level of fear now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
About a 10?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hold it just 1 second. We're at a 10 now. What I want you to do, Prince, is that dark swirly cloud, I want you to instantly change it to gold. Instantly change it to gold. And it's light. Now I want you to see that this gold is sizeless. It's not only in every cell in your body, in your brain, in your heart, it's every part of you into your DNA. It's everywhere. It's sizeless. It's sizeless. And it's dark, it's dark yellow, it's solid. And you see the world, you see what God says to you in gold. Solid gold. Whatever he says to you, you can see it in solid gold. He says it's yours, it's yours. There's a human sound to it. In fact, it's kind of like it's a hum. The human part is yours because you're humming along to it, but the real sound is heavenly. There's like a frequency from heaven that you can hear. Can you hear that? And it's like, just humming along. Some of these ones, but better. And there's a smell to it. The smell, there's this delicious kind of sugar-free yogurty smell. You smell that?
Yeah.
And the taste. Tastes kind of the same. Where's your fear now on a scale of 1 to 10?
Far away.
Far away. Would it be a 0? Would it be a negative? What number would it be? 0. You see how quickly we changed fear to faith? Awesome. So you can stand up and you can walk back to your chair in absolute faith. Thank you, Prince. Did you like that? How cool's that? So, some modalities are like the coolest things to work with. Do them on yourself, do them on other people, but just do them. Okay, what time is it? What time did... Yep. Okay, 2 more minutes. I'll see if I can fit this next one into your... Is it arsenary? Is that burning a house down? Is arsenary burning a house down, or arsenal? It's a bit of a dangerous word to start using those first few letters anyway. Maybe I'll just quit, hey? Well, I don't even know if I'm ahead, but maybe I should just stop. Anyway, yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Burning down the house. I like that song. Okay. If we go to the next slide, I don't know if you want to take a photo of that, but that's pretty much, I can get rid of this so you might be able to see. That's pretty much just what I went through. So you can take a photo and try it at home. Try this at home, kids. So you just elicit the current representation. So what is it that they want to change, or what we perceive as the negative thing? And then you just pull out the submodalities on that. So go through, you know what it is, 5 senses, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, the feel, the smell, the taste. Often people will go, no, there's no smell and there's no taste. But I love it when there is. It makes it really interesting. Thanks, Dave. And then you find the submodalities of what they do want to map it to. The only tricky thing in that is if they've been stuck in a negative state for a while and they go, oh, I can't think of any time, they can't get into the good state. You can ask the question, has there ever been a time you felt that state? Or if they go, no, you go, what about, is there someone that you know, or, you might not know them personally, it might be a film star or something, that has that state? And they have to go yes, otherwise, they wouldn't know the state existed. So then you go, well, what do you think they feel, or what would they see? And so they already know it, but you're getting sort of through to them via a different door. So you can ask, is there someone else? And then you just map those, and then you just map them across. It's like changing, tuning the knobs and buttons, you just change it. So that's how quick and easy it is. Yeah, so let me see. I'll try and do this one really quick for you. So next slide, I spoke about strategy. So this is kind of another few layers deeper into submodalities, but this is now we're adding neuro strategies onto it, or neural strategies onto it. Quick testimony to start with. My Superman, David, is like Forrest Gump. Like, in a good way, in the running sense, right? Gosh, he's never going to let me live that down if he sees this back. Anyway, I know now. Mr. Bean, Forrest Gump, in a good way, in the running way. He could just run and run and run and run and run. And he used to run in the middle of summer, in the middle of the day. And he was just amazing. I hated running, but he, being a male, he wanted me to run with him because it's companionship and all that. And I'm like, I don't even like running, let alone in the middle of the day. You are insane. Anyway. And so one day, because he knows all this stuff too, he's another Yoda, he says to me, what strategy have you got for running? I'm like, I don't know, I never really thought about it. I suppose I just see myself running and puffing and feeling horrible. And he goes, well, any wonder you don't want to run. Because that's the strategy my brain produced when someone says, do you want to go for a run? Instantly visual, seeing myself running, then kinesthetic, feeling how horrible it is. No, thank you. And he said, do you want to know my strategy? And I'm almost like, no, I don't. And I'm like, okay, what's your strategy? He says, well, I see myself after the run. I see myself having achieved it. I feel fabulous, I feel fit. Then I see myself sitting down, having a really healthy breakfast, glass of orange juice, fruit, eggs, whatever it is, and just enjoying that and feeling absolutely fabulous. And then I feel so motivated to run. I go and get my running gear on, which is what's called a physical marker, and he feels so excited to go for the run. Completely different strategy, right? So I pinched his strategy, and after that, I really liked running. How amazing is that? So that's how these strategies work. And when I said before, if there's someone you know who does something well and you would like to be able to do that, just find their strategy. How cool is that? As I say, there is a clause on this because depending on your capacity, your personality, etc., there's a few deeper things in there. And to say, for example, to say that I took Dave Hodgson's strategy of God's favour and I mapped it onto a young guy in the room. It was at a business seminar. And he went from kind of this to like this, and he was like he was trying it on, he was feeling the strategy, but then he would go down and I'd go, no, hang on, and I would build the strategy again, and then he would be up, but he kept kind of fighting it, and he kept going back to his old ways, and in the end I explained, it's because Dave Hodgson's capacity is probably, bigger than, I try to say it in the nicest way you can, than, this other gentleman here. Because Dave was much older and had much more life experience, etc. So the clause on that, when it is like a really significant strategy, is that there has to be the capacity to hold it, okay? But any other strategy, this is what we do. We ask someone, when you want to do that, so is there anyone with a simple, what do you want to learn about? Who's got something cool we can map, a simple thing? Yeah? Surfing, awesome. Do you want to come up the front, Maddie? So you're a great surfer?
No, I think that's why I want to improve.
Oh, you want to improve. So I need the strategy though. Tell me something that you do well.
Talking. Conversation.
Conversation, okay. Maddie does conversation well. So conversation with anyone, you can just go and talk to anyone?
Yeah, pretty much.
Excellent. So you know you're good at that?
Yep.
Great. So what we're going to do is, before you go and talk to someone, and this is interesting because we don't necessarily consciously know our strategy, okay? So I'm going to have to pick it out a little bit. What is the first thing you do before you go and talk to someone? Do you see them? Do you see yourself doing it? Do you think something? Do you hear something? Do you feel something?
Yeah, I have an expectation that they will be enlivened through my
Conversation.
approach and my greeting, like my interest and enthusiasm to see them.
Okay, so you have an expectation that your interaction will uplift them.
Yeah.
Okay, and how do you represent that expectation? Do you see it? Do you just get a sense of it, or do you hear something?
I think I see it.
You see it. Okay. So the first part of the strategy is visual, right? Now, do you see it? Do you actually see them, or do you sort of see it in your head?
No, I think I see them.
So,
yeah, because I'm not thinking about me. It actually, seeing them takes the focus off me.
Okay, so that's the trigger, when you see someone.
Yeah,
you see them. So
it draws me out of myself.
Excellent. Because we actually have 10 senses. I'm going to do a little pre-thing here. We have 5 external and 5 internal. So we have visual internal as well as actually seeing someone. Okay, so we have 10 senses. So the first part of Maddie's strategy is visual external. I see them. Then what happens? Then do you go, do you think in your head, I'll go and talk to them? Or do you get a feeling? Do you see something? What happens?
Yeah, I think there's a compassion. I feel that they may not be treated, that they may not have that in their life. They may be feeling a lack of someone coming up and greeting them, making them feel special, or someone's interested in them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the next part of Maddie's strategy is a KI, a kinesthetic. It's a feeling, it's an internal feeling that you get because you feel, in let's say my simple terms, you feel they might need a bit of lifting.
Yeah.
Okay? So we've gone from VE, seeing someone, I feel like they could do with a bit of encouragement, lifting, love, let's
Yeah.
say, attention.
That's right.
This is making a whole lot of sense to me now after our conversation too. Oh my gosh, the way God designed you is so cool. Visual, external, kinesthetic, internal. So I feel like they could do with a bit of uplifting, a bit of love, a bit of encouragement. Then what happens? Do you then just go and connect with them? Do you hear something in your head? Do you say something to yourself? Do you feel something? What happens next? Do you just do it? Do you just go over?
Yeah, I think I don't. Yeah, it's very much. It just comes out then.
So then it's action, is it?
Action, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't generally have another step there, I don't think.
Short strategies are the best. Some strategies go round and round and return and back, and they're actually quite complicated. But thank you, Maddie, for sharing your strategy. That is absolutely amazing. Please give them a big round of applause. So there's obviously more to this step, because underneath here you could go into, well, what are the visual externals? But we got that it was the person themselves, right? And then you could, if you wanted to use submodalities on that, if you want to get really clear and whatever you can, like where is it, like do you see them in the room or do you see them bigger, or, you know, especially if it's an internal thing, you can ask all those. But it was a simple strategy to speak to people and to encourage them was the visual external. See them, I get a kinesthetic feeling, and internal, I feel like they could actually use some encouragement, which then kicked you into action. So kinesthetic is quite a motivator for you, isn't it? Yeah. And that was like, yep, okay, we're doing it. So 2 steps and he's got his outcome. So who wants Maddie's strategy? Great, up the back. What's your name? Thank you, Maddie. You can sit down. That was awesome. Sorry, I can't give you a surfing strategy because I haven't got one to pull out of people. I know. I'm sorry, mate. Next time I'll find one for you, send it to you. What's your name again? Sorry? Kat. Thank you for joining us, Kat. So you'd love to be able to just easily come and talk to people? She's doing it right now. She's doing all right, isn't she?
Is this on?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want his strategy for another area. Is that okay?
No.
Or does it need to be
Sit back
conversation?
No. Of course it is. For what area do you want the strategy?
For procrastination.
For what, sorry?
Procrastination. Like something that I want it to be that quick that I take action.
Right, so just throwing me a curveball, because this is a strategy for talking to people, but we can still do that. I can work with that. So, all right. So, a little bit of a different context. So instead of talking to people, we're going to change this into an action strategy of just getting it done. All right? So great. Thank you. Thank you for throwing me a challenge. So, visual external then. I want you to, have you got something that needs doing now?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what it is?
My GST.
GST.
Doing my best.
Okay, let's test this, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, motivated being 10, unmotivated being, 1 or 0, where do you sit on that scale to do your GST?
1.
1. Okay, so we've got a base range, don't we? Let's hope I can move this. Okay, so I want you to see your... Actually, what I want you to see, I'm going to pull my husband's into this as well. I want you to see that you've finished it. Can you see that you finished it?
Yes.
And what are you doing to celebrate?
I can see myself at the local pub having a beer.
Woo! Awesome. And how do you feel? How do you feel having finished it and you're at the pub having a beer, local pub having a beer?
I feel relieved and I feel accomplished.
Okay, so now I'm going to use some of what I did before in the submodalities. What colour is relieved?
Yellow.
Yellow. Where is it? Inside, outside, or what?
It's on my shoulders.
On your shoulders, did you say?
Inside
in
my
your
shoulders. Yeah.
Heavy or light?
It's light.
Light. Is there a sound to relief?
It's kind of like an internal sigh. Like,
Okay, sigh. Is there a smell to it? Or a taste?
No.
Okay, cool. What about, tell me about excitement. What colour is excitement?
Blue.
What colour, what sort of blue? Because there's that sort of cyan blue or there's a dark
Aqua.
blue. Like that?
Yep.
Excitement. Aqua. Where is the aqua? Is it inside, outside or what?
It's like in my torso.
Torso?
Yeah.
Cold, hot, warm.
It's warm.
Is it moving or still?
It's bubbling.
Bubbling. Heavy or light?
Medium.
Medium. And the size of it? Football field.
It's this size.
So tummy size.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we say temperature? We said warm, didn't we? And is there a sound to excitement?
No.
No sound? No smell? Is there a smell or taste?
No.
No, just
It's
the
a
visual
feeling.
and the feel.
It's a feeling, yeah.
Well, it is the feeling, but we've described it visually. Okay. So, all right, cool. So what I want you to do now is I want you to think about your GST, and now I want you to see yourself finishing your GST. I want you to see yourself at the pub with your beer, and that relief, the gold that's on your shoulders, and it's light, and there's a bit of a sigh, it actually changes to an aqua blue in your tummy. And all of a sudden there's this incredible excitement, and it's bubbling, and it's warm, and it's kind of medium. It's about your tummy size. But we're going to increase it. What would you have to do to make that excitement even bigger, to take that excitement from, where is it sitting at the moment?
It's like a 7. I think to make it more, it's like adding laughter.
Okay, we're going to add some laughter to that. We're not going to take it to a 10, though. We're going to take it to 100. What has to happen? See? What has to happen to get that bubbling turquoise excitement in your tummy to 100? What if we made it bigger? What if it just erupted out of you and now it's huge?
Yeah, I'm now with more people at the pub, and
We're all there. We're all at the pub. Yeah, and we're all laughing.
we're all laughing, and
It's a party, right? Now we're having a party. We're having a GST party.
oh, and the GST is like the biggest I've ever had. Like the amount I just paid, it's like the biggest I've ever.
And how
paid.
exciting is that? Because you had the money to pay it. Woohoo! Praise God. Hey?
It's paid. It's done.
How does
Our
that?
highest. We're all cheersing.
Yeah! GST! To GST! How do you feel? Where's the excitement now? What level?
Yeah, it's over 10 now.
Over 10?
Yeah, if everyone comes.
We're all there. We're all there. Remember, we're all there internally, so you can take us wherever you want. You can put more. You can put the whole of Australia there. Like you can stand on the table with your glass of beer going to GST, and I want you to look around. The whole of Australia is going to GST. That woo! Can you see that? How's that feel?
Yeah, that's awesome. It makes me want to do it.
I rest my case. So you're happy to do GST now?
Yeah, I want to do it.
Very good.
Yeah, I
Well
want to
done.
do it when I get home. Let's do it. Thank you, Simone. That was awesome.
You're so welcome. So there you go. Play with some modalities. They're fun and they'll give you incredible results. Go from not wanting to do your GST to I'm going home. In fact, I'm leaving early to do my GST. That's it. Over to you, Dave.